Hi everyone, Sarah here, and today I just want to talk about a favorite topic that I know that everyone is going to have one thing or the other to talk about or to chip in, about this. And today I just want to talk about building and maintaining healthy relationship in marriage. Building and then maintaining healthy relationship in marriages. You're welcome to Living with Sarah. And yes, here we talk about relationship on three basic levels: your relationship with your maker, your relationship with yourself, and your relationship with other people, including marriage. Today, let's talk about it. Marriage is beautiful. I always enjoy, marriage events. I like attending wedding parties. I'm not really a party goer, but I love enjoying wedding parties. And yes, marriages are beautiful. I love to watch marriages that work. Unfortunately, there aren't many of such around me. Even when I was growing up, I didn't have many of that. I don't know about you. Many of you are so fortunate that you got, great marriages as examples, and that's beautiful. That's amazing. And please comment down below. I was at a session sometime, and somebody was telling me how her parents' marriage was an encouragement, was an inspiration to her. And I was like, wow, wow, that's exciting. I find that very exciting because it's what God wants. Two, it's what we are working on achieving here. And three, because it's not common. No, it's not. And it has to be. Something has to give because marriage is meant to be enjoyed. And yes, we will enjoy our marriages. Are you married? How is it so far? I counseled with a young lady yesterday, and she was telling me that when she started facing, some tough issues in a marriage, her mother will always tell her, ah, is that all you're going through? No, can't you remember what I went through? This what you're going through is nothing compared to what your mother, went through. And when I heard that, it broke my heart again because for some reason it has become acceptable. For some reason, you just have to be there and endure whatever comes to you. Is that how it is? That somebody is in a relationship or somebody remained in a marriage relationship, does that necessarily mean they are happy and fulfilled? Is that how it ought to be? Is there anything that we should do differently? I'm going to be discussing this and more today. So let's get started. Now, every one of us are work in progress. Everybody is a work in progress. So there isn't anything like, I'm perfect. Nobody's perfect. The marriage institution, as it were, because God is the author of the marriage institution, that makes that institution perfect. But the moment we come into it or we go into it, we take our imperfection into the perfect institute, and then that makes it imperfect. However, if we are willing, if we are ready, if we are actually set, then we can make the best of our marriage relationships. We will not only build, but we will maintain healthy, beautiful, cordial, loving relationships in our marriage. And yes, number one thing I want to talk about I'm talking about 4 things on both sides. Like, say, for example, the very common one is that the man is cheating. And I'm not coming after the men today. I'm just saying it the way it is, very common thing. Oh, he's cheating on me, that kind of thing. That's a very common thing. Now, I believe that cheating can be forgiven. Hear me out, girlfriend, hear me out. Cheating can be forgiven. And the man can actually ask for your forgiveness. And once you give him that forgiveness that he has asked for, he might actually not go back to his vomit. Right? Because there is a way to go about it. One is you want to watch out for repentance. Now, there are some men that will apologize and be remorseful, but not necessarily repentant. Maybe they were caught. Not that they got tired, not that they just felt, wow, this is not good. Not that they not said, okay, let me go and confess to my babe what I have done wrong because I don't feel good. No, some of them are actually remorseful because they were caught in the very act. But then that one was caught in the very act does not mean that one cannot be repentant. But I'm just trying to let you know that there's a difference between being remorseful and being repentant. Some guys are like, wow, how did I allow myself to be caught now? And then they're, oh. And the remorse is not because they are repentant. Because when you are repentant, it means that you are sorry for what you have done and you are ready to not do it again. So when you are repentant, you don't repeat it. But if you are not repentant and you're just remorseful, maybe because you thought you were careless, or you just didn't like, what happened after that time, then you are remorseful. It's just going to be for a period of time, and you're going to repeat that thing again. So being remorseful, being repentant, will show in whether you will repeat or not repeat it. First time offender or repeat offender, But really, we are all work in progress, and everybody has one area or the other that they need to work on. And this is where sincerity comes in. And I mean, if I have chosen you already, as a man, I have chosen you as my wife. I mean, I had options. Everybody has options. They could even have decided not to marry anybody. So for that man to have chosen you, or for that woman to have chosen you, I think it counts for something. And for you to have chosen that person and that person to have chosen you back, that should count for something. So if indeed you want to have a healthy marital relationship, if indeed you want to have a lasting marriage, and you want your marriage to work, both of you, then when there are issues that need to be discussed, there are issues that need to be worked on, you work on those things together. And that's where sincerity comes in. You have to be sincere. If you have a weakness, and I get it, I totally get it. Everybody has one weakness or the other. Well, you don't brush it aside. You just brush it off like, yeah, I'm human after all. But if you're like, oh, that's a weakness, that's something I want to work on. The same issue, 2 different approaches. So if you're like, doesn't matter, everybody's doing it, what's the big deal? That means you don't want to change. That means you're not repentant of whatever it is that your partner is uncomfortable with. And I always love to say this, if indeed you love this person and you're not a tormentor of his or her life, why would you keep doing what makes them uncomfortable? I call it wickedness. Deliberately doing what your partner does not like is wickedness. If you love someone, you're going to want to please them to the best of your ability. So if you have a weakness and then it's been found out one way or the other, I think the first thing is you want to be sincere. You ought to be sincere. This is how it is. This is what it is. I'm sorry, but I can't help myself as far as this thing is concerned. I need help. Be sincere. There is no man, there is no woman who chose you that you will open up to and tell him or her that this is what I am battling with. This is the issue I'm faced with. That will just say, they don't care, or will begin to mock you or something. It doesn't happen that way. If you are sincere and you are actually sincere, your partner will pick it. And the next thing, he or she is going to start working with you on it. So you have to be sincere. Okay? And then number two thing you want to do is you want to be intentional about finding a way out. You don't say, okay, that's my weakness, so just accept me as I am. After all, we are even married. What can you do? I mean, you better not say that, but your action might say that. But no, being sincere is not enough. Acknowledging that that is a weakness is not enough. You have to be intentional about becoming a better version of you. In marriage, especially ladies, some of them, before they get married, they're always like, dressing well, you keep your hair well, you do your pedicure and your manicure, you know how your husband, your guy, you know how he likes it, make sure you dab the perfume and all of that. But once you get married, some of you just kind of relax. Now, the guy loves you, and yes, he has chosen you, but he wants to continue to see what he saw. And you owe that to him, to continue to give him what he's looking for. So you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about finding a solution, about being the better or the best version of you, about evolving out of that situation that you have been sincere about. You have to go on to be intentional about, dealing with that weakness, whatever that is. If indeed, I say it again, if indeed you want to make your marriage work. So you're going to be intentional about it. And then you're going to keep communicating. You have to keep communicating. And you have to, for example, if you are caught cheating by your man or by your wife, and then, like I said, everything is forgivable. You can choose to forgive. Some might not be able to, but some will be able. So now if your spouse forgives you, for example, of the sin of adultery, of cheating on them, then you cannot now say you're going to keep your phone passworded. You don't get to do that. You have to submit yourself to scrutiny. You have to submit yourself to monitoring. You have to ask him or her to help you. It's about being intentional. And then now you have to be continually communicating on the progress made. I mean, sincerity and intentionality are palpable. He's going to see that you are making an effort. She's going to see that you are giving it your best. And just keep talking, keep the communication line open, keep speaking to them, keep communicating with them. Okay? And then as you are making that progress, you have to keep making the progress, as in keeping on. You don't get to a point where you now relax again, or because something happened, or just because you want to make your marriage work, you have to keep doing it. And I'm going to show you 4 things that a reasonable partner will do, especially when you're vulnerable with him or her. Okay? Now you've been vulnerable enough, you've been sincere, you've been intentional, you have been communicating, and you keep working at it. For example, maybe you broke their trust sometime before, and then now you're repentant and all of that. It has to keep showing in all that you do. And it's not like you're being extra or something. It's because you want to keep what you have. Okay? Now, such a partner will now do 4 things. Number 1, they are going to be supportive. When you see that your man is actually working on it, or your woman is actually making, the attempts, you're going to support them. So for you, if you're not vulnerable to your partner, they don't even know how to support you. They don't even know what to do. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know where to come in. And please, and please, your partner, yes, you have that deep connection and you work in, you have a very strong synergy. However, they are not mind readers. So you have to let your partner know. Don't just assume that they know. Because when you make them to realize and understand where you are at, they are going to be supportive. They'll be supportive. They will be understanding. I'm telling you, when you are sincere, you are intentional, you are giving it your best shot, and you are communicating it to your partner, they will be understanding. And you know what again they're going to feel? They're going to feel this responsibility. Like, he has opened up to me. He has told me what it is. I'm responsible for helping him. They're going to take it personally. It's our thing. You are going through this. I'm walking right by your side. And then you will see that, honestly, marriage can be beautiful. And then they are going to be enduring. As long as they see that you are trying, as long as they see, even if the progress you're making is 1% or 1/100 at a time, maybe even after a space of 4 months, they expect you to have gotten to like 10% and you're still on 7. As long as you are working at it, as long as they can see your sincerity, as long as you are being intentional and you are communicating, they're going to endure. Love is really enduring. However, what helps that, what triggers that, what keeps that going is your vulnerability. I mean, why are you in a marriage if you cannot be vulnerable? And yes, when your partner is vulnerable, you don't want to be the one that keeps, taking them back there. You keep rubbing it on their face. That's how you did that one last time. If they've opened up to you, if they are indeed repentant and they are working on it, come on, give them the benefit of the doubt and walk with them. Marriages are meant to work. And when marriages work, the offsprings in the marriage, one, they see how that marriage can work through your marriage. They understand what God meant, by that institution. 2, you are training them as the boys, you're training them how to treat their wives. As the girls, you're treating them how to treat their husbands. And you're giving them a solid foundation, which is one of the reasons for marriage. And then, of course, there'll be so much peace. And where there is peace, there's progress. Where there's progress, there's prosperity. Okay? So we can make it work. We can. And when he comes or she comes and, opens up to you, what do? You welcome them. Except, of course, if they are not being sincere. Okay. But I see more marriages working because we are more enlightened. We have more information. And, the quality of information that's available to you determines the quality of choices and decisions that you will make. And so we have good and quality information available. So yes, people are making better choices in marriage. And I hope this has helped you. I really hope that you're going to work with these and, make the best of what you have. And if you need help, we're here to hold your hand and walk you through, walk with you on this journey. You need a counseling session, listening session, premarital counseling, counseling in marriage, that is marital counseling, or you want matchmaking. Oh yes, we have a specially designed matchmaking project that's ongoing. I'm going to make a video about that in a bit. And yes, we are taking people right now. It's time to register. We're going to walk you through. This is not like everything else that you've seen. They just throw you in the open there. And this is personalized. We're going to be counseling with you. You're going to be knowing who you are and who, you know, what you want and all of that. And then we are going to be bringing you together with people. And we are going to walk with you every step of the way. Yes, I'm your friend, your sister, your sweetheart, Sarah. And I'll be coming again shortly with another relationship building tip. Until I come your way again, I'm saying to you, keep living real, and bye.